welcome back. We are here to have our next discussion with our District 10 candidates in the city of Sheboygan. So we've got Marcia Reinthaler as well as incumbent Joe Heidemann. I will go through and ask you both a series of questions. Each of you will have about 2 minutes to answer. If after you've each had an opportunity to answer, you'd like an additional 30 seconds to review or have additional comments, then just wave me down and we'll give you that extra 30 seconds. Now, in all fairness, we have lost our timekeeper and it keeps dwindling down. So I will say don't be long-winded because then it'll be really hard for us to keep control in the room. You both look very uncontrollable.
We are.
I'm teasing. It's okay to laugh, I promise. And so what we'll do is we'll just start with a 2-minute introduction from each of you, and then I'll go through and begin to ask questions, and we'll take it from there. So first, thank you so much for being here, you guys. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you're willing to serve in this capacity and also to be a part of this candid conversation. And with that, I will pass it over to Marcia to tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, thank you. And thank you to the Chamber for sponsoring this and Deidre, your time for asking the questions.
Thank you.
We look forward to this. I'm Marcia Reinthaler, and I'm running for District 10 older person position. I am a 4th generation City of Sheboygan resident. I'm married to my husband, Tom, for 34 years. We have 2 adult children who also live in the city. Our son recently got married this past October, and we welcomed Katie into our family, and they purchased a home in the city of Sheboygan. So our roots are very strong in the city of Sheboygan. I have a bachelor's degree from Lakeland University in both business and marketing with a minor in computer science. I'm currently employed by the Kohler Company, where I have been employed for the past almost 39 years now. I have a background in finance while working at Kohler, Director of Operations for Hospitality, and then most currently I have been with the Callista brand of Kohler for just a short 26 years, and I'm the Director of Customer Experience for that brand. I have also served on the Sheboygan Area School Board for 12 years. I took a small hiatus of 2 years for our son to get married and for my husband and I to build our retirement home, which was really important for us to find a lot in the city of Sheboygan. It's kind of difficult, but we found one because I knew someday I wanted to run for local government. This year was the year I chose to run for the seat, not against the person, and I look forward to serving District 10.
Thank you so much. Joe.
Yeah. Good afternoon, and again, I also want to thank the Chamber for sponsoring this event. My name is Joe Heidemann. I live at 4819 South 12th Street. It's the first house coming into the city or the last house going out of the city on 12th Street. I live there with my wife Lynn and our cat Liberty. I have 3 children and 5 grandchildren, and I'm proud to say that I was a member of the United States Air Force. And when my beard grows out, many people might think that I'm Amish. But in fact, I'm Catholic, and I've been Catholic my whole life, and I attend the 3 Southside parishes. I'm currently the alderman for District 10. I have previously served in this capacity when there were 16 aldermen. I was an alderman and mayor of Sheboygan Falls. I served under 8 different mayors between Sheboygan and Sheboygan Falls. These experiences have helped me throughout my service to the communities I lived in. Currently, I serve on Public Works, Licensing, Hearing, and Public Safety Committee. I also serve on the Senior Citizens Commission, and I'm the council representative of the Maywood Board. Problem solving and promoting a positive outcome to have been at the forefront of many of my decisions. My experience as someone that has seen developments that have had a positive impact on Sheboygan makes me more than qualified. The lack of leadership over the last 2 years has not helped Sheboygan. We may look like we're going in the right direction, but the current structure of the council does not. We need people to show up to meetings. We need to go back to open government. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. All right, Joe, we will start with you. So you have served, as you mentioned, in several capacities in local government. What made you decide to run for public office, and why do you feel that you're the most qualified candidate at this time?
Well, first of all, I never liked that question if I'm the most qualified. That not knowing what my opponent's qualifications are makes me seem like I'm presumptuous, that I know everything. What I can say is I have experience, that I've been on the Common Council, I've worked in 2 different communities. I have in the past, I've had the votes of my colleagues when they established. I was put in the vice president of the council. I was a committee of the whole chairman. Again, having served in other communities, seen a number of things that have happened in the city of Sheboygan and helped solve problems, I think I'm a quality candidate. And again, I'm fortunate to have competition. The last thing that we need in this community is not to have competition for public offices. It makes absolutely no sense in the world for me to think that I'm the only person that needs to be an alderman in the 10th district.
Thank you. Marcia.
Thank you. I agree with Joe. I don't like this question, which makes me the most qualified. Obviously, my opponent has great qualifications and has done a fine job. I'm running for the seat, not against the person, as I said before. My background is in both public government, local government, being on the school board where I held leadership roles. I was the president, I was the vice president, the clerk, the treasurer, and chaired just about every committee that there was over my 12-year span in the school district. I had leadership roles in my career. And with my finance background, my people skills, I believe that we need to have open communication. One thing I know we can all agree on is that we're not going to agree on everything, but I can help navigate through the waters and at least help the constituents understand why, or my fellow peers on the council understand the whys and how I'm thinking and what District 10 is saying about things happening in the city. And I think my business sense would be a strong plus as well.
Great, thank you so much. So Marcia, we'll start with you, and let's talk about what we love about the city. What element of our city government do you believe right now is working well?
That's a great question. That's a new question. I look at our city government, and I am pleased. I met with the city leaders as far as our city administrator, director of finance as well, and HR, and I'm really excited about their excitement and what they can do for our city. I love the fact that our city leaders have gone to all businesses, not just within the city limits, but within the county, to try and see what their needs are going to be over the next 3 to 5, 10 years, and bring that information back to the council so that there can be great decisions made or better decisions made about the needs of our employers. We have over 3,000 open positions within the county, and we don't have enough housing. Our housing is less than 1%. We don't have enough housing to bring people into the community to fill those jobs. So I think gathering information is probably what I'm most proud about, is that they're talking, they're out there getting feedback.
Great, thank you so much. Joe.
Okay. All of our departments within the city of Sheboygan are very effective. Our public works does a fine job of picking up garbage, taking care of our parks, and keeping our streets clean and our streets plowed. Our police and fire are probably 2 of the best departments that I've ever been associated with. Again, we don't have some of the problems other communities have because we basically have in the past prepared the city of Sheboygan to be the place that it is, to have a good fire department, have a good police department, have good public works. And recently, now with the addition of a new city administrator, I think we're going in the right place.
Thank you so much, Joe. So Joe, you know, to continue, what is one part of city government that would or should receive more attention if you are reelected into this role?
What I want to see is basically people that are on the Common Council do their job. Okay, far too often when you go to a committee, their law and licensing and finance have went for the last 2 years practically with only 3 people on the committee. There's 5 people assigned, but only 3 people show up. How does that help those constituents from those areas that don't get represented in those committee meetings? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, and basically I think it should have been the responsibility of the mayor to correct that. When people don't show up, they should be replaced. A year ago, Alderman Grazia said that she could not be on Public Works. She didn't have the time to do that. I gladly stepped in. I think I've been to almost every meeting in Public Works. I've been to every meeting in law and licensing, plus I have other commitments. We need people that are going to show up and be effective for the city of Sheboygan. And when that issue is not addressed by our current administration, I don't understand why they allowed it to go on for as long as they did.
Thank you, Joe. Marcia, what is one part of city government that you feel would receive more attention if you are elected into this role?
Thank you. With all of the development plans that we heard about in the last session, and we know that is happening in our community, we need to focus on the infrastructure to make sure we have the support with our, you know, DPW, with police and fire, EMT, all of those support systems within our city to make sure we can support the development that is going on.
And so as we can continue to talk a little bit about development because, well, it's a big discussion we're having today. Cities need to grow and expand their tax base to survive. There's no doubt about that. So tell me, Marcia, how would you support development and redevelopment? And, you know, specifically thinking about the South Point Enterprise campus on the south side, which has largely sat vacant for several years. You know, what course of action would you take to help get some development moving forward in those spaces?
Yeah, I think development overall in our city, I'm sure there is a plan. It doesn't just pop up overnight. I'd like to see that plan and understand what the next 3 to 5 year plan is. As far as the South Pier development, I think we need to, it's kind of a catch-22, but we need to understand bringing in the younger families, keeping our senior people that have grown up here like myself and been here forever. What do we need in our community to thrive? What's going to bring tourists in? I don't want to become a 100% tourist community, but what is going to bring people, attract people to live here, play here, and just enjoy the beauty of Sheboygan and not ruin the quaintness of our community. So I think I would need different data points to collect from constituents throughout the community, as well as our businesses, what they would like to see, and possibly people who come to vacation and play here.
Thank you. Joe?
As far as the industrial park, I happen to know things that Marcia would know, because I think there is a turn. We're making positive steps forward as far as putting people into those areas. We had, you know, you can never predict what's going to happen in the future, and we're under a lot of competition with communities around us. We have to have better amenities. We have to have things that'll bring those companies to the Sheboygan as opposed to going to Oostburg, Cedar Grove, Plymouth. I think currently right now we've kind of made a turn the corner, and some of those companies are looking at Sheboygan as a positive place to come. But what we needed to do was we had a set of standards at one time, and then we needed to change our standards because we were losing. Now Sheboygan is winning.
Okay. And Joe, to dig a little bit deeper into the amenities, what amenities do you think that the city is missing currently, and what kind of work will you do towards bringing them into the city?
As far as amenities are concerned, I don't know what Sheboygan and Sheboygan County don't have. I mean, we have fine restaurants, golf courses. Don't say that we don't have enough taverns, but so.
Don't say that,
right.
yeah.
But again, I think we have a lot of the things already in place here. What we need to do is make sure that we support the businesses that are here, to draw those amenities and have people that have the ideas that want to bring something to the citizens of Sheboygan to see if it's going to work, and we have the space for them to do it in our downtown district or any other area of Sheboygan.
Thank you. Marcia.
Thank you. I would like to make a point of clarification with my last answer. I was hearing South Pier, not South Point. So thank you, Joe, for jumping in there. So I was talking about the tourists at South Pier. But what I would like to see us do as far as amenities, I agree with Joe. We have so much here. I just think we need to do a better job of communicating it out, what we have to offer. Like the marina, it's a beautiful site. I have gone to the bar at the marina to bring guests from out of town because it was so beautiful, but it was almost vacant. You know, there wasn't people in there. So I think our marketing of our city and how we get the word out there and draw people in and incentives to bring people into the city is crucial, because we have a great city.
And to talk a little bit more about the Harbor Center Marina, since you've brought that up, this is owned by the city of Sheboygan, as we know, and just recently there's been some big changes in management there. So the pool area has been closed, the restaurant and bar and the store in that building. So, you know, thinking about, you know, what you'd like to see, or when you have guests that come to the area, as you've just shared with us, what they would like to see, what do you believe is the next best course of action to revitalize that area? And how can we use our waterfront more effectively economically?
I'm only one person, so I would want to have feedback and input from several people and find out what they would like. But I would see it as an area, a family-friendly area with some nightlife, possibly, where people could, I just came back from Florida, and you could just walk down the beach and there's gift shops and there's vendors and there's just different things you can rent or do, or jet skis, or have a nice lunch overlooking beautiful Lake Michigan. I would not want to clutter our beautiful lakefront, but I'd like to add some extra amenities of things to do so that families spend more time down at the front.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joe?
Our current marina and the steps we've taken to try to make some improvements down there and having the city run, I wholly hope is temporary. For years, the marina's been a black hole. All we did was continue to stick money in it, have other people come in and run it. They would give us our ideas. You know, who could have determined 30 years ago that the marina was built in the right place and the geographical area that it sits on isn't good for a marina because of the ice, because of the water. And having been on the council before and been on Public Works, we constantly continue to spend more and more money on that marina. Now, having the city own and operate it, I'm good with that for a while. But I don't believe it should be a department within the city. We should have somebody that might want to come in and we'll see what the current, we're going to have a study done as to see what we can have in there. I want a family-friendly marina, something that the citizens of Sheboygan can use. I think that should be in best interest of the city, but I don't necessarily want to have city employees running it.
Thank you. We're going to switch gears just a little bit. You know, there have been a series of impending lawsuits related to HR situations within the city of Sheboygan. Joe, what do you think the city and Common Council can do, or what programs could be installed moving forward to avoid similar future lawsuits?
you know, having had 8 years of experience before, when I was reelected to the Common Council, I've never spent more time in closed sessions and listening to what people weren't satisfied with this, weren't satisfied. We have not only HR, we have other lawsuits, and I'm not going to go in to the way previous opponent was, because that's over with. We have to deal with it, go on, make sure that we settle the lawsuits where we have to settle in the best interest of the city of Sheboygan. But as far as the HR director that we had, I think we have to have a better approach as far as who we're hiring. We spent $27,000 to have somebody give us a recommendation for somebody that basically was not a proper fit for the city of Sheboygan, period. Where did we go wrong? Did we go wrong because we had a group of individuals from within the city that were on the hiring committee, and they made a recommendation to the council, and normally what the council would do is basically, we look for their guidance. We said this is going to be fantastic. Well, the council made a mistake too. But initially, it was a company, I think it was Baker Tilly. I wouldn't give them another penny to research anybody for us. And I know I had a discussion with Marcia. They had Baker Tilly at the school board. Yep. And what did you do? Never used them.
No.
Yeah, so they made the right move. Thanks.
Thank you. Marcia.
Thank you. I don't know about the hiring process for the city of Sheboygan. I can only speak for my past experience with the school district, and it was a pretty slick process that I'm sure the city did. Something similar, but you know, it went through a process. It wasn't one person or one group making a decision. We had community members involved. We had the employees involved in making the decision. We had the board involved, as well as the leadership of the school district and a third party. You know, what are the references? What are the backgrounds? And then we pulled it all together. And sometimes our school board, we would get way too deep in the weeds with it, but it paid off in the end. I mean, we were getting down to really minute little pieces. I don't know what happened with the city. I can't comment on that, but I would just want to have a group, different groups make decisions, and then the board can make the final decision.
Okay. Thank you. Marcia, we'll start with you on this next round. We are facing a housing crisis. I know that's going to come as a surprise.
It is.
How could you, as a council member, help to facilitate meeting the needs of housing in the city of Sheboygan if you are elected into that role?
Well, District 10 that I would represent if I were elected has the vacant farmland that you've heard mentioned before, and that is going to house between 1,900 and 2,000, I was told, dwellings for people, apartments, townhouses, side-by-sides, and homes. I know that's going to be a big, major development on the south side of Sheboygan in District 10. I would want to talk to the constituents and find out, is this something they want? They don't want? What do they think? You know, I love the fact that the city has that land, but I want to have respectful use of that land and make sure it is the right for our community. And I know we have a housing shortage, and that would be ideal to expand, but we just need to make sure it's tasteful and have the voices of our constituents.
Thank you, Marcia. Joe?
Affordable housing. Everybody's talking about it. If you drive down Indiana Avenue, you'll see the housing units going up there. In the past, I've been where the old Tripart property is. I was on the council when we had that as a development. Okay, so there's development happening. It's what type of development you want. It seems the emphasis right now is high density in a small area. Okay, well, that's great for downtown. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that fits in the 10th district. I mean, I drive through the district all the time now because I got to check on stuff. But again, I want neighborhoods. I don't want high rises. I want to have places that where the Gartmans and the Polk farms are developed in a proper way, and we don't get too far ahead of ourselves when the other development that's already taking place in the city of Sheboygan, whether it's on the Mayline property or anywhere else downtown, if that has not been fully developed and occupied, well, then why are we basically piling more and more homes in the 10th district when we might not need them? You know, it's not a situation where you want to say, well, build it and they will come. Well, we're going to be in competition with other communities that are going to do the same type of building. Okay, so if they have, if we're in competition with the surrounding area, Sheboygan Falls, Plymouth, everybody else, and they all come up with housing developments, how do you know ours are going to be filled and theirs aren't going to be filled? So you have to take a cautious approach. We want to have affordable housing. We want people moving to the city of Sheboygan, but again, I'm pro-neighborhood. That's what I want to see.
Thank you, Joe. And talking a little further about the housing crisis, we've had some conversations today about vacation rentals, short-term rentals. Where do you stand on short-term rentals, Joe? And are you aware of how they are impacting the city of Sheboygan?
Okay, as far as, again, when I travel with my wife, we use the Airbnb, the VRBO, all that, and we've had considerable success with that. I know a number of years ago along the lake shore, there were people that were renting their homes out, and basically they were party homes. Okay, now that's not necessarily what we want. So basically it's the community's responsibility and the neighborhood's responsibility to make sure that those things don't go unchecked. Now, we can't tell property owners what to do with their property. If they want to rent those out short-term, long-term, however they want to do it, but we should have guidelines available for them to look at and saying, this isn't going to happen in your short-term rental. You know, so I think there's a proper way of doing it. I hope that most of the city of Sheboygan is doing it. Again, the rental situation in the city of Sheboygan, they said is 61% of the homes, 40% of the homes are rentals in the city of Sheboygan. Okay, that amazed me because I'm more of a family, want to own my own property. Mm-hmm. Okay, so hopefully that might change as far as rather than buying property to have rentals, but buying property to have families in them.
Sure. Thank you. And Joe, we'll ask one last question and then we'll give you guys an opportunity for some final comments. So we'll start with you, Joe. What do you believe the city can do or do differently to help grow and enhance engagement with its citizens?
Okay, open communication. One of the things that we need to do as far as the Common Council and city government, for sure, we need to open it up. We have to stray away from the rigid way that we're doing it, where the only time a citizen can come to the Common Council, he can only address things on the agenda. What happens if something happened that I wanted to come to the Common Council and I wanted to talk to him about it? I can't get an opportunity to speak to the Common Council for 5 minutes unless it's on an agenda item. That's not right. They should be able to come to the Common Council and be able to talk to the Common Council, and not just at the council meeting, but also at the committee meetings. We have to open up our government so that citizens feel good about coming down to City Hall or going to the committee, the 3 standing committee meetings, and say they'd be able to and voice their concerns about the city of Sheboygan. That's very important.
Thank you. Marcia.
Thank you. I agree with Joe that communication is extremely important and being transparent. I do think as an older person for the district that it's our job to hear those constituents' concerns, complaints, questions, whatever. I want to be visible to our District 10 and build relationships and rapport and make it easy to contact me so that I can get answers for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And so as we are approaching time, I'll ask you, Marcia, to kick us off. Tell us your final thoughts. What is your vision for the future of the city of Sheboygan, and why should people vote for you as they are heading to the polls?
Yeah. So our city is going through a major transformation, and to me, that is so exciting to be part of that change. But I wanted to be careful because I don't want to lose the quaintness and the community culture that we have of the friendliness of Sheboygan County, but I want to see it grow. And I want young families to come in so that it continues to grow. I want seniors to retire here. I want seniors to stay here and not go to Florida and for the winters. I want them to have fun indoor stuff to do. Of course, I want to please everybody, and I know that's not possible. But I do want to see our city change and grow, become a little more modern, attract those families in, fill our schools. We have a great education system, even though people listen to the report cards and don't get the facts. But I just think we have a great community, and I want people to be part of it. My excitement.
Thank you. And why should folks vote for you?
Well, thank you. In this nonpartisan position, I believe that with my business background, my past board experience, my leadership skills, I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to try and get answers. I love to research. I love to go out and talk to people. I do think that I need to be transparent with people. We're not always going to agree, but understanding the whys of decisions that are made at the city level. And I want to give easy access to information from the city to the residents of Sheboygan. So thank you.
Thank you, Marcia. Joe, what is your vision, and tell us why should folks vote for you?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank Marcia for coming. You showed up, which was nice, yeah. So,
Didn't you think I would?
no, I knew. Well, I've been.
This is the nicest that I've ever experienced, I think.
Well,
Thank you both.
I've been to these before where the opponents didn't show up. Mm-hmm. So again, I do appreciate the fact that I have competition. I would appreciate everybody's support in the 10th district. The last time I ran, I had needless to say, a very tight race. And I would hope to think that what I've done in the last 2 years and the years previous and my experience, that the 10th district would elect me again. I've mentioned a lack of leadership within the council, and that's not just the council, but that's also the mayor's office. It should be obvious that anybody that follows local politics. We need a balanced approach. The future growth within our community, especially the 10th district, should be something that we should be proud of and fits the 10th district. I will do my best to try to open up city government where citizens can express their concern, not just agenda items. And since nobody else has done, I will take credit for the mild winter that we've had.
Nice.
Good job.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't speak too soon, because I heard there's, potentially
I
snow
can't-
tomorrow, in fact.
I don't have a crystal ball, I can't tell you, but again, so far, we've been doing very well.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you again to Joe and Marcia for your time and answering the questions, and just, again, your willingness to serve in this capacity. This has been a really fun conversation for me, so I really appreciate you guys so much. And we are going to take another short break, and then we will come back and have our last conversation of the day with our candidates for District 8.